We're gonna go full throttle now, and cancel culture must be canceled. And I wanted to start off with this video with Byron Donalds and Abby Phillips, because what happened in this video happened to me. So I wanted to shed light on this first and then get into the nitty gritty stuff. So let's watch this really quick.
All right, we're doing the whole video?
No, I'll tell you when to stop.
All right.
Good evening, I'm Abby Phillip in New York, and I want to get right to it tonight. One of Donald Trump's vice presidential contenders, Congressman Byron Donalds, he made some comments that has a lot of you talking and a lot of Democrats fired up. I'm going to speak with him live in just a couple of minutes, but here are the original remarks. They were made as a part of a pitch to black voters in Philadelphia, and I want you to hear it in its full context. Listen.
I grew up with my mom. My dad and my mom, things didn't work out. As an adult, I look at my father and I say, bro, I don't know what happened, but you my father and I love you.
Wow.
I don't know what happened. I wasn't there.
Wow.
But I'm gonna tell you this, growing up, the one thing I knew I wanted to do, and this is not about my father, this is about what I wanted to do, is I wanted to be a father to my son.
Wow.
And so one of the things that's actually happening in our culture, which you're now starting to see in our politics, is the reinvigoration of black families with younger black men and black women. And that is also helping to breed the revival of a black middle class in America. You see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together.
That's right.
During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative minded, but more black people voted conservatively. And then HEW, Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are. What's happened in America the last 10 years, and I say it because it's my contemporaries, it's Wesley's contemporaries, you're starting to see more black people be married in homes, raising kids. It's when you home with your wife raising your kids, and then you look at the world, you're saying, now wait a minute, time out. This does not look right. How can I get something to my kids? It goes back to the conversation of generational wealth. Not just having a job, generational wealth.
Now, we should note that many Democrats who jumped on Donalds today claimed that he said that blacks were, quote, better off. As you heard there, he didn't use those exact words in the clip, but the congressman joins me now to talk about that. Congressman, thank you for being here. I want to just focus on really the substance of what you were saying or trying to say in that clip. What did you mean by black families were more together during Jim Crow?
Frankly, what that is about the empirical fact that before the Great Society, before Lyndon Johnson's policies, there was more black families united. The marriage rate in black America was significantly higher before the Great Society. The period of time that coincides with that, obviously, is Jim Crow era. And then after the Great Society, the marriage rate in the black community plummeted significantly. The Great Society is a part of that reason, not completely, but it's definitely a part of that. And what you're seeing right now in America is a reformation of black families in America. That's a good thing, not only for the black community and for black families, but it's also a good thing for the country.
So what was the point of tying together the black family and Jim Crow specifically? I mean, Jim Crow, as you know, was a period of racial segregation, of racial terror. Why would you make that connection?
All I was doing was referring to the time periods when you talk about the historical timelines in America and coinciding with black families and what the marriage rate in black families are. The overarching point is obviously talking about what polling shows today, that about 25% of the black vote, depending on what poll you're looking at, is leaning towards supporting Republicans and supporting President Trump. The corollary to that is that when you're in a family unit, husband and wife, living together, working together, thriving together, you're raising your kids, your thought process is now talking about building generational wealth. What am I leaving to my children? What kind of communities do I want my children to come up in? What are the educational opportunities? What's going on with the economy? How does, and then to a broader level, how does foreign policy and all these other public policy issues flow into that? And so when you compare the terrible agenda of Joe Biden and what that's done to families in America, coinciding with the fact that you are seeing a reformation of black families in America today, which is an absolutely wonderful thing and needs to continue. My view is it also coincides with a more conservative leaning and a more conservative mindset politically in those families.
One thing I really want to just get you to address is there were a lot of people who heard what you had to say, and a lot of them are offended by the idea that you would repeat Jim Crow 3 times in your comments, as if to suggest that was a time period because the black families were, in your words, together, because, in your words, black people were not just more conservative, they voted more conservatively. That's a good thing. I mean, it sounds like nostalgia. Do you regret using that
nostalgia
time frame as a reference?
Nobody ever made nostalgia. That was never the point. It wasn't even about that. So where now I'm gonna get my backup is, I didn't say that. I didn't even insinuate that. That is where the media and yes, Hakeem Jeffries and a lot of other people are taking it.
What exactly didn't you insinuate?
No, back up.
I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. What didn't you insinuate?
Well, you keep interrupting him. I was going to explain.
I did not insinuate. That is what people are trying to weave into what I said.
Exactly.
What I said is crystal clear. It's on my social media. Go to @ByronDonalds on X. You can see the full clip. Abby, I appreciate you playing the full clip. What you are dealing with right now is a political environment where now anything I might say or any major surrogate might say is going to be twisted into the lens of race. That was never the point, not the idea.
I just want to clarify my questioning.
All right. So I want to make that very clear. Right now, exactly what he said, you can post something, you can say something, and people will interpret it in their way in order to shame you, defame you, and cancel you. And I'm bringing this up because I'm building up my case here, okay? Before I get there, blacks used to vote, for the most part, Republican until FDR became president. When FDR became president, that's when the black Americans began shifting their political support toward the Democrat Party. I want to remind people of this. This is very important history we're talking about here. FDR's New Deal program aimed at alleviating the effects of the Great Depression, providing economic relief and jobs that benefited many African Americans, even though they still faced discrimination and exclusion in parts of the South. While African Americans had traditionally supported the Republican Party, the party of Lincoln, the economic support from the New Deal helped build loyalty to the Democrat Party. Okay, the shift accelerated further during the Civil Rights Movement, particularly under President Harry Truman, who desegregated the military, John F. Kennedy, and Lyndon B. Johnson, which he brought it up with the Great Society, who signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and Voting Rights Act of 1965. By then, black voters had become a key base of the Democrat Party. Okay, all right. So what he said, I understood it clear as day. He literally said, in a nutshell, if the black community was conservative and united in a time of segregation and just so much bigotry and racism at that time, and so much poverty, then there's no reason why they can't be even stronger and more united now. That's literally what he was saying in a nutshell. I don't understand why that was so hard for some people who are smarter than me to not comprehend, like Abby Phillips. So, with that said, Recently, 2 weeks ago, there was a white woman who called a black, they're saying it's a child, we're not really sure how old the child was, the N-word with the hard R. I'm emphasizing N-word with a hard R for a reason. Let's watch that video whenever you are ready, because I am building my case here, guys. This week has been a very intense week for me. So I'm putting everything all together here. That way, once it's my turn, you'll understand where I'm coming from here. You ready?
Context and then what happened today.
Well, the context here is it started last week with a video that was posted on social media and went viral of a confrontation at a playground in a park here in Rochester, the Soldier Field, that park down there. And there was a woman here that, and this video I'm told was taken by a witness, somebody else, but that she apparently got upset because accused a 5-year-old of trying to steal something from her child's diaper bag. In the video she's accosted by this witness saying, "Did you call that little boy the N-word?" And it kind of escalates from there. I just saw the video here a few minutes ago, and this interplay then, it really raised a lot of emotions obviously around here, and so that led to this rally here that you saw earlier today. It started at noon. It went for a while, and then there was a short just kind of march around the government center here. Now is wrapped up, in which, you know, there's a number of things at play here in the kind of the emotional response to this. One is they're upset because the woman at the in the video at the center of this then started a fundraising campaign on Give, Send, Go, and raised $600,000 there, in which she said that's for her own legal defense, that's also for her own safety, that she's been getting threats that she may have to move, protect her family. Well, then people are upset that they view her as maybe trying to profit off of what occurred. It's unclear exactly what the situation is. I talked to the mayor here too, and she said, yeah, it's unclear. The police have been doing their work all the weekend trying to talk to witnesses, figure this out. This morning forwarded it to the city attorney's office here for potential charging decision, that they will work with the county attorney's office here too, because a lot of people at this protest, that was the other part of it, is they want this woman to be charged with some sort of hate crime, because they see, again, online, the donations that she's getting come with a lot of then incendiary comments too. The NAACP then had their own fundraising campaign just to really kind of counter that, and which has now been ended, met its goal and ended. And so there's going to be some more events here, but the big thing is that they're concerned that the folks that have come together here would like to see some sort of criminal charges against the woman at the center
Absolutely
of
insane.
this conflict.
All right, that's it. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. All right, go to the next video here before I unleash my wrath.
It's Breaking the News. I'm Jana Shortle. We're going to start tonight where we left off on Friday night. The latest racist incident in Rochester, where a white woman repeatedly called a man and a 5-year-old child the N-word on video. We know now the city attorney has its hands on the police investigation records, meaning it will look at the case to consider charges against that woman. And the man who took the video and posted it online is telling his story for the first time.
If he was my child, I would want somebody else to stand up for him.
On April 28th, Shamarki Omar says he started recording a now viral video of a woman shouting racist slurs at a 5-year-old boy.
I thought she was going to deny it and walk away. When there was a video and she saw that I was recording, she doubled down and even tripled down now.
Doubling down meaning she, whose name is Shiloh Hendricks, kept yelling the N-word at the man recording, and tripled down when she created a crowdfunding website for herself, alleging she was the real victim here because the video's popularity was putting her safety in danger.
I don't know what to say. It's mind-boggling. I don't know. I thought she was going to get punished for this, but apparently not. She's getting rewarded.
Her fundraiser didn't go without the victim also getting one. The Rochester branch of the NAACP showed its support for the child and his family by crowdfunding more than $340,000 in donations to help pay for the victims' family legal fees if they arise. But that fundraiser ended Saturday because the victim's family wants privacy and doesn't want any crowdfunding done for them from this point on. As for Omar, he said by just posting the video, it put the victim and other kids at the playground that night in harm's way.
Then why did you post it?
And the rest of the kids also have a death threat against them.
It's all just impossible for Omar to understand, he says, how he and the child, who were targeted repeatedly by a woman calling them the N-word, now have to fear for their safety, while 15,000 people, some identifying as white supremacists, made Shiloh and her racist tirade a cause worth giving well over $500,000 to. For those donors, Omar wanted to say this.
Living with hate, is very stressful. And it shortens your life. So being happy and welcoming is the better way. Change yourselves.
I love it when people project absolute bullshit on live television. So I want to be very clear here. If you're claiming that people should not be living with hate, then maybe you should not be promoting hate on the internet for everybody to hate more. That's literally what you did. And just to be clear here, that man that you just saw was charged in 2022 for 3rd and 5th degree criminal sexual conduct involving a minor. So I want to know, what was he doing in a park with children? Okay?
Damn.
I want to be very clear here about this. And you know what's even more funny? Nobody really knows how old the black kid is. We don't know. They're saying he was 5 years old. There's no proof the kid was 5 years old. And they're also saying on TikTok that he supposedly is an autistic kid. Again, no proof. So I'm sick and tired of people. And the fact that she didn't even bring this up. This is news we're talking about. These are news people who didn't even bother to do their research to allow a man who literally was charged with conducting sexual behavior with a minor to be seen as some type of hero or something when he is disgusting. He, like, what are the Middle Eastern people like that? Infidels, literally. He is an infidel. He's a walking, talking infidel. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because after that happened, I went on my social media account and I said something, and I'm gonna post it here, and I'm going to explain why I said that and my reaction to how people have been treating my video. So let me know when you're ready for that. I thought you were doing that. Okay, cool. You were already there. Sweet. Because I'm fired up right now. So I don't think black people have a right to tell white. Start from the beginning, please. I don't think black people have a right to tell white people or Hispanics what they can and cannot say. And that means if a black person wants to use the N-word, that means a white person also can use the N-word, because all lives matter, not just Black Lives Matter. So with that said, the fact that they're trying to sue this woman, this white woman, they're trying to take her kid away from her because she used the N-word, just shows you how toxic cancel culture is. And this is a great case as to how we need to stop cancel culture. It is anti-American, it is anti-free speech, and if you can say the N-word, so can I, whether you like it or not. It doesn't affect your freedom, but you're sure affecting mine by telling me that I can't say it because I'm not black. So, make the N-word great again. All right. So that end part is what blew up TikTok, and right now I'm at 50 views so far, and it keeps on going. But of course, with that video, the backlash was in...
You said what? You said 50 views?
50,000, my bad. 50,
Big difference.
50 point something thousand views. I lost, at this point, it doesn't really matter. It's way more than what I thought was going to happen.
And just to be clear, what N-word were you referring to?
Yes, so the N-word I was talking about was the one that is used in rap music, because the N-word that lady was talking about was the hard R N-word. And it really pisses me off when black folks on the internet were acting like they didn't know what N-word I was talking about, because they knew what I was. If you say it, you know what N-word I'm talking about. It's the N-I-G-A N-word, not the N-I-G-E-R N-word. And the fact that the news outlet didn't specify also shows either they don't know that there's a difference or they did not care that there's a difference. Because there's two N-words. There's N-word, which is the one that all rap people use in like 80 to 90% of their music. Comedians use it too. And then there's the hard R N-word, which is the one that nobody uses because that was pre-Jim Crow times. Nobody uses that at all. But people do use the regular N-word because black culture made it popular. And what pisses me off is that they made it so popular, they infiltrated it into their music, right? Comedians use it all the time, and yet only they can say it. The NAACP buried that word, the regular one, not the hard R. Everybody knows that's like taboo to say. The regular one was buried by the NAACP, which is a nonprofit organization of liberal black lawyers and activists who are heavily influenced by the Democrat Party and the DNC, even though they're not admitting it. We all know that is true. They buried it, meaning nobody is allowed to say it except black people. That is the literal definition of racism. The fact that this woman used the hard R, which she shouldn't have used, but she was pissed. Nobody knows the context of what actually happened in that moment in time. All people know is what that man who has a charge on, again, sexual conduct with a minor put on TikTok. So he created a narrative to get clout, just like Jake Tapper did. And everybody who wants to believe in the narrative fell for it. Instead of asking questions, okay, why did she say that? What got her to say that? It turns out the black child, whatever age they were, took her kid's bag and she was trying to chase the child. Now, should she have said that to the child? No, of course not. But the fact that people are trying to ruin this lady's life, take her life, charge her, is to me insane. Because at the end of the day, even that word is still protected speech. You cannot charge somebody, like they're saying, oh, they're going to try to charge her. You cannot charge somebody for saying something that is protected under the First Amendment. Because if you do, then we no longer have a free country. It starts with words. And if you can charge me for words, then you can charge me for anything. I promise you, if Kamala Harris would be president, that lady would be behind bars. And her little kid would be probably at a, what do you call it when kids lose their parents?
Adoption? In a family home?
In a foster home.
Foster home, yeah, there we go. That's
okay? You'll be ruining the kid's life because you didn't like the fact that she said a word that offended you. Words don't have power, you give them power. That's what gets me even more pissed. In fact, I'm going to read to you one of the comments. I have a lot of them, but I'm not even going to get into all the comments here. But I'm going to give you one comment because this person harassed me so much I had to block them. It was just too much. Bless your little heart. You're welcome. The feedback I'm getting from people on you is hilarious. They all think that you're someone uneducated who keeps trying to sound like you're smart, that you're trying your hardest to be accepted by racists and bigots who are white supremacists, white nationalists, Christian nationalists. Apparently it's bad to be a Christian nationalist, KKK, neo-Nazis, and part of other racist hate groups because of the video. You're struggling with self-hate. So now he's diagnosing me. Keep making videos so you can keep providing us with laughs and materials to make fun of. God bless you again. Have a great and blessed Sunday. That was just one video. One comment. I have plenty others. I have also death threats of, men telling me, "Oh, you should say that in front of me," you know? So we're getting into a time where people are literally willing to get violent off of words. Like, words don't hurt you. You allow them to hurt you. So if you're willing to hurt a woman or a man or whatever because of a word, there's a serious problem in culture. And to me, there's something that Matt Walsh said that I was like, yeah, this is like, you're on the money here. He said that what happened with this lady, she's about to become a millionaire because people are just funding money, because a lot of people are pissed about this, because it's like, first of all, yeah, what she said was wrong, but it's not a reason to like just completely destroy her life. That's one. And two, not too long ago, there was a black person who happens to be a minor who literally stabbed a white guy who also was a minor in the heart, and he got a bunch of people to fund him. So it's okay for you for that to happen. It's okay for the black kid who killed to get funded, but it's not okay for the white woman who didn't kill anybody to get funded. Like, this is why cancel culture is getting canceled, because people are realizing, at least I strongly believe, people are starting to realize that the more you try to cancel people, the more it's gonna backfire on you, and it's only going to reward the person who you claim did a bad deed. Like, people, all they're doing is giving me more clout. I cannot tell you how many remixes I'm getting on a daily basis. On a daily basis, people are just remixing and remixing and remixing, and they don't realize all you're doing is giving me more followers. All you're doing is giving me more clout. That's all you're doing. You're claiming that you're exposing my hatred or whatever, but people who have actual like independent thought are gonna be like, she didn't say she wanted to say it. She said, if you can say it, so can she. That's literally all I said.